So today I had my eighth driving lesson, and well, today was one of the days where it didn't go too bad, but not too good either. Driving out of the parking lot went awesome, A roundabout went awesome. At one point, I had to turn left, and it was a complete shit show. I'm making it sound probably worse than it was, but I just have this tendency to be so hard on myself that I just came home and I just had a mini crash out. I'm able to let it go now. In about 2 weeks, I have my ninth lesson due to vacations and stuff like that, Christmas, whatever. Yeah, man. In the last lesson, I was talking to my instructor about how the experiences I have with clients as a social worker makes me put things into perspective. And I said to him, you know what? I realize that sometimes our worst days are somebody else's normal. And what I mean by that is that, let's say, for example, you wake up and you forgot to buy bread, something very simple. For some people, never having food in the house is their normal. And it helps you to put things into perspective because we love to complain. And I'm guilty of that myself, Sometimes I just forget how lucky I am, how blessed I am with people around me, roof over my head and stuff like that. Another example is like I live in a tiny apartment and I'm not satisfied with the fact that I'm here. Not that I don't like the apartment, but I just feel like it's time to level up, right? And I kind of have that in my own hands. One of the reasons I'm creating these videos is because I just want to, help people make a living, create a business, still figuring out how to do it. But what I'm trying to say is I don't want to be content with what I have because it feels sometimes like I'm settling. But at the same time, I know that there are a lot of people on this planet who don't even have a roof over their head. Or maybe my apartment is someone else's dream apartment, while I'm striving to have a bigger house, for example. And working with people who have a lot of things on their mind, or more things, because I think we all walk around with something, right? Working with people who have the basic needs, or at least they lack the basic needs, it helps you put things into perspective because it makes you realize that you should be grateful for what you have. Not to settle, living small, or maybe driving an old car, for example, doesn't mean that you should stay with that car forever. But it makes you realize that at least you have a car and your current situation should not be your final destination. Someone once told me that, and it always stuck with me. But it's about being grateful for what you have, and this way you can open up the doors, the frequencies, the energies for better things to come into your life. And working with people who don't have those things really helps me to put things into perspective every once in a while. The bad days for some people, because if it's your normal, if it's your standard, I think that's a different story. But in a way, it isn't, because struggles and bad days help you grow, help you develop yourself. And of course, if you're lacking the basic needs, that's the last thing probably on your mind. You just want your water, your food again, or a roof over your head. But in general, going through bad days is going to help you to grow as a person if you look at it in the right way. For example, I realized that with the driving lessons, I'm very hard on myself, and it's a learning curve, because this is new to me. And I am sometimes so mean to myself that I expect myself to already be an excellent driver, which is not realistic. Otherwise, I wouldn't be having those lessons, right? But challenges are usually temporary, and if you learn from them, they can propel you way ahead of the majority of people. And I'm learning to be patient with myself, to be grateful that I'm able to afford the lessons, be grateful that I'm able to learn, even though sometimes it feels slow, but at least I'm there. I come from a place of having fear to actually getting behind the wheel, and now I'm at my 8th lesson. And we need to cut ourselves some slack. And I feel like this video might be all over the place, but basically the point of this video is to make you aware of being grateful for what you have, being grateful for starting at 0, and maybe right now you're at 8, like me, for example, or maybe you're further, or maybe at 4. But it's important to put everything into perspective, because a lot of people just don't have the things we already have, and we're always striving for more, which in a way is good, as long as you don't do it just because you want to compete with other people, With social media nowadays, and YouTube and Instagram and all those stuff, it's easy for you to feel like you're behind. And this is something I'm still trying to find my balance with, not feeling like I'm behind. I want to be able to buy a house. I want to be able to, move to a different place. And in a way, I am capable of doing that. Just to buying the house, maybe right now, is not the best thing. Because, by the way, the housing prices in the Netherlands right now is skyrocketing. Yeah, I guess it means in a way that I'm not able to buy a house yet. But either way, your shitty life, quote unquote, might be somebody's dream life. And we need to be aware of that. Sorry if I'm rambling, but I just wanted to share that with you. I just had that perspective last week, and I just had to make a video about it. So yeah. Even though my energy is low, I am excited for this workout. It actually has been exactly 2 weeks ago since I trained. It's right now 6:06 in the evening. Just got back from work and I'm ready. The past weeks, I'm gonna be honest, have been hell. I went to party a little bit too hard and I'm not proud of that. It set me back like at least a week. It literally took me a week to get back to my normal energy levels. And I've never experienced this in my life, so I got scared a bit, I'm gonna be honest. But we're back, I feel good, I feel excited to work out again. It's crazy that once you get addicted to training, it's just something that will never ever leave your life again. At least that's a good addiction, right? So yeah, I'm just gonna drink this, warm up, and get ready to work out. Let me go over my exercises with you. Before I start drinking this, I have some bench squats. And basically it's just squatting down on the bench, but then I have the dumbbells hanging on the side. But you'll see that when I start working out. Some floor presses, barbell rows, graveyard goblet, and some alternated dumbbell curls for the biceps. So I'm excited. Should take me 30 minutes max, depending on how long I rest. I'm curious to know how my body feels after 2 weeks. And yeah, man, excited. So let me drink this, like I said, and just warm up and get into it. Alright, so it took me 42 minutes, a bit longer than expected, because I rested a little bit longer during certain exercises, such as the squat, because my back, man, it's sometimes it's killing me, so I had to do what I had to do. But I want to circle back on to what I was saying at the beginning of the video about not being able to work out. I want to go over some of the lessons I learned. Yeah, so you might want to listen to this or not. So the first one is basically, I said before in previous videos, you don't have to miss out on life, but know the cost, Don't miss out on social gatherings, maybe meeting up with friends, going to the cinema, eating something, but just know the cost. This time, partying with friends set me back a week, and I'm lucky it's only a week, it could have been even longer. But make sure that you make the right decisions, Think about whatever it is you want to do. Ask yourself if it's helping you to move forward towards your goal or setting you back. In this case, well, I guess it's clear. It set me back, but I'm trying to take the positive out of everything and learn from the lessons that I gained from this experience. Lesson number 2 is basically that recovery is part of the journey. Something I guess we all know. My body apparently needed more rest than usual. And, I'm not 20 anymore. Not to say that I'm old, I'm just 36. But, things I could have done 10 years ago are not always as easy right now. And I know that now. And this is not the route I will be taking in the future. Not like this. So just take care of your body. Make sure you get proper rest. Enough rest. So you're able and actually willing, especially willing also, because, you got to have the energy to do so, to get back to the gym or work out or whatever it is you want to do. Be aware. Lesson number 3, by the way, is being aware of your choices. Like I said, be mindful of the decisions you make so you don't set yourself back. It's not about shaming yourself or blaming yourself, but it's about knowing things you should avoid in order for you to reach your goals, right? Oftentimes you think, what do I need to do to reach my goals? But sometimes it's also about what do I need to avoid to reach my goals. Lesson number 4, last but not least, is that balance is possible if you're able to control your impulses, right? If you know, for example, that you are not able to eat, let's say, a handful of chips, for example, make sure you don't eat it at all. And if you know you can do it, then balance it, It's okay to have a cheat meal here and there, as long as it's not the majority of your nutrition. The thing is, we can still have fun, and losing weight, for example, should be fun in a way that it makes it sustainable. I'm not saying to do easy things only to lose weight, but make sure that you balance fun with serious work. And I think I said it a couple of weeks back. Let's say, for example, you go out to eat. Make sure that the nutrition you eat before you go out to eat is basically well calculated, so you don't overeat while you're out in a restaurant, for example. Or the other way around. Make sure that when you get to the restaurant, you make the right choices in order for you not to be set back a couple of weeks or days. So yeah, it was not how I expected it to go, but I've learned from it, so a win is a win, and I can only do better from here, so yeah. Anyway, that's it. If you made it this far, thank you for your time, and as usual, I'll see you in the next one. So today I had my 6th driving lesson, and I have to say it's going faster than I expected. It's going pretty okay. I'm still not completely satisfied, but I always have this tendency to be very strict for myself. I don't know if strict is the right word, but I hope you understand what I'm saying. Another thing is that I did not work out as often as I wanted to last week. I think only once. While I said 3 times would be the minimum, sometimes even 2, but it only happened once. I also went to a party, and this is a win. I said at the beginning of the series that I will not drink alcohol, and I did not. I went to a party, and of course you kind of get put in a certain situation where there's alcohol, but I did not drink, and that was amazing. So I'm happy about that. A win is a win. This week I'm aiming to train at least twice. I really feel like I'm getting fatigued, not in a way that I don't eat enough, because I know that sometimes eating less food has a negative impact on your energy levels. It's just there's a lot going on right now. Nothing traumatic, but I feel like sometimes overwhelmed by life, And sometimes it feels like it's a lot, But I'm not using this as an excuse. I know that if you want to maintain a healthy lifestyle, you have to make time for it. It's the same thing with your job. I can't sit around and say, I don't have time to go to work because life is overwhelming. So I know that it might sound like an excuse, but I'm really trying to balance everything out and make sure that I get everything done, because I want to lose a certain amount of body fat. And I realized, by the way, I did not say at the beginning of the video or at the beginning of the series how many weeks or months I'm going to dedicate to this. Of course, it's a lifestyle, so basically you're doing it for the rest of your life. But I want to have like a end goal, or at least a period where I say, let's look at how far we've come and what have we accomplished during those weeks and months. So I'm thinking about aiming for at least 6 months. So I think I'm like 2 months in, or almost 2 months. So that means 4 months left. Not left in a way that I'm going to stop after that, but I mean, like, that's what we're working with, right? The period of 6 months total. Also, I have a vacation coming up in the beginning of 2026. So I want to be in the best shape I can be. Yeah, that's about it though. But sometimes it's a challenge finding the balance between everything that's going on in life. Again, it's not an excuse, but I know that I have to dedicate my time, attention, and commitment to it. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. Otherwise, it's going to be life happening and you planning health around it. And it should be the other way around. So if that means I have to go earlier to bed, or maybe, basically working out in the morning instead of after work, since I'm fatigued or I have other things going on, that's what I got to do. But I also want to be a little gentle on myself, because there's a lot going on, I worked so hard to get where I'm at today, with the driving and everything. I felt so afraid all the time. So for me to be doing all of this, it's a win, however you want to look at it. Today I'm aiming to work out, so I'm just going to rest a bit, and then later in the day, right now it's 12:30. Later in the day I'm going to work out, even if it's just 20 minutes, since it's been a while, and take it from there.